I want to welcome you to the Bearcat Beat, where each week we talk about Sherman Bearcats athletics. The Bearcat Beat is brought to you by the Sherman Athletic Booster Club. I'm your host, Chris Daly. Sherman Bearcat Athletics represent the heart and soul of our community, where champions are made both on the field and in the classroom. Our student athletes embody the Bearcat spirit through dedication, perseverance, and excellence, creating memories and building character that will last a lifetime. Remember, it's better to be a Bearcat. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Bearcat Beat. I'm Chris Daly, and I am joined today by the cross-country coach, Anthony Shearer. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
This is Texas, so a lot of people talk about football. They don't talk about cross-country much. But we're going to. Actually, cross country is happening right now, and explain what a season looks like for y'all.
Okay, well, cross country, by the way, is growing so rapidly across North Texas right now. It's distance running, even in the last 10 years, is just exploding, particularly in this area. And for us, what that looks like is we begin training in early June. Our runners begin getting in some mileage all throughout the summer, some as low as about 20 miles a week up to as much as 50 miles a week, getting some aerobic conditioning in all summer long, building up to early August. That's when we begin practicing regularly in our fall practices and kind of ramp up the intensity a little bit, begin working on some speed work and recovery in between, in addition to that mileage. They'll usually see their first meet about halfway through August, so we have two in the bag already. We'll kind of continue to run pretty much weekly until early October, which is when championship season begins. And we have our district meet that first week in October, and it builds towards state from there.
Nice. And talk to me about what it actually is, because, you see people, you see write-ups and this was a tough course or this was a different kind of course. It's not just going around in a circle on a track. There's elevation. There's a lot of different things, right?
Sure. Yeah. This is cross country is a little bit more like the off-road running. There's a lot more character than just running around the track, circle after circle. There's, of course, the hills. There's the terrain. Sometimes the weather comes into play quite a bit as well. And so it's a little bit more test of not just the endurance athlete, but strategy, how they choose to approach the course. Our typical distance for a cross-country race here in Texas is a 5K. It's about 3 miles, a little over 3 miles. And so there's a lot of physical elements that come into play, but there's also a lot of the mental game that comes into play for our cross country runners and choosing the right spots and the right moments to make their move. And the other thing about it is that they've got sometimes, depending on the race, as many as 50, 60, 70 plus runners in an invitational meet. And so a little bit different in a track when you can pretty much see the guys in front of you, the guys behind you, and can quantify that. This is a much bigger field, and so there's a lot more strategy involved with that.
I love that. And talk about the equipment choices and how that varies as far as what they're wearing on their feet, on their body, depending on temperature, terrain.
Yeah, for them, the shoes is a big deal. And a lot of our runners have multiple pairs of shoes depending on what their workout is. A lot of them will use a special trainer that's got lots of cushioning to log those everyday miles, whether it's out on the pavement or on the grass or wherever they're doing it, to make sure that they stay healthy and their feet, knees, and everything stay fresh and bouncy. But when they race, they use anything from what they call a low-profile racing flat to somewhere actual cross-country spikes, which resemble a little bit like a distance racing spike on a track, although the spike is just a little bit different. And the feel is a little bit the same. So.
Got it. And then, to people who aren't involved with cross country, they may think that you as a coach, your job is, hey, just go run. But you mentioned the strategy. Do you craft the strategy for the kid, or do you train the kid for the strategy, or how's that work?
Each kid is very different, even their goals for a particular race. So it's about teaching principles and helping them learn to apply those principles on the course in the moment. The race never unfolds, just like any sport. The game never unfolds the way that you expect it to. Conditions change on the course. So it's about preparing them for for whatever is ahead of them, and teaching them to be able to make those adjustments and those decisions on their own. To be honest, the biggest part of what I do is preparing them with the training and trying to figure out how to train 50, 60 kids that all have their individual needs, that are all a little bit different kind of runners, and trying to make a training program and craft that and adapt that works for each one of them to be able to get the best out of them. Then on race day, I can be beside them and I can yell for them, but they don't even hear me half the time on the course anyway. So they're on their own, but they've been well trained in what they need to do at that point.
Yeah, and you mentioned recovery just kind of in passing, but recovery is a big deal. And talk about how that changes again, whether it's by the health of the kid or the distance between your events. Explain that alone.
So most of the kids that we have come up to the high school have never run the quantity of miles that they're going to run throughout their 4 years here. And so it's a big jump for them to go from running maybe in the middle school, maybe 15 miles a week, to going 20, 25, 30, and 35. So recovery is huge for them, especially as we start in August. We build that into our training days where we have to teach them literally how to run slowly, how to properly stretch, how to use hip mobility, all these kinds of exercises that make sure that they can give their best on the days when they need to give their best, and then they're recovering on the days that they need to recover, and that they have that dynamic. Some are better than others for sure. High school it's a difficult time to tell a kid, hey, I need you to run a little bit slower, or hey, I need you to kind of cool out and stretch a little bit. But they're all kind of learning as they go a little bit what they need to make their body feel the best when it's time to race.
No doubt, no doubt. So let's talk about the couple of meets that you've already had. The Friday Night Hawk invite first. I guess that was the first one, right?
Yes, that was our first meeting.
So talk about how y'all did. Looking at the stuff you've reported, the team's doing really well.
Yeah, well, off to a great start. That's one of our favorite ones to start the year off on. It's a 2-mile loop course. It's relatively flat, but it's on a Friday night. They put the park lights up there, and so the kids get to run a little bit under the lights. It's just a very different vibe for them, and so it's exciting to get out there. Our girls and boys both competed very well in that meet. I believe our boys finished 5th overall, and our girls 6th overall in a pretty competitive field. Yeah. 2-mile is usually we can't tell a whole lot about where we're at yet, but it's a great warm-up for us, and you can just tell in that meet, you can tell the excitement that our kids had to just be back racing after 3 months of just training in the heat in summer and not actually having anything to run for. You could tell that they were pretty excited to get out there, and they competed really well.
Yeah, and who stood out in that one as far as individuals, whether it's in the varsity or the JV?
So we're led this year by 2 seniors that are incredible runners. Caden Hernandez on the boys' side, who's been a 4-year varsity runner for us. He's been great all the way through. He was our first finisher for that meet. And came in the top 20 medal for us there, and really kind of set the tone for us. On the girls' side, we have another 3-year varsity runner, Citlali Mendoza Hale. Citlali's been 11th in the district the past 2 seasons. She's been very competitive in our district, and she led out our girls as well. She's definitely a little bit more of it. She can't wait for the 3-mile to come around, because the 2 miles a little quicker than she likes. She likes to go a little bit longer, but she led out our girls, and she's leading a group of freshmen this year. So we're excited about where she's going to take them. But she had the peak performance there for us on Friday night.
Sweet. Well, let's jump to the TCS Invitational. Tell me about what that one was, how it was different, and then again, how some of the kids did.
Yeah, so this was a little bit different for us. That was our first 3-miler of the year. Another great thing about it is it's kind of right here in our backyard. It was over at Pecan Grove Park, which allows us to run in front of a lot of home fans, a lot of their teachers, different people that they know from the community. They got to see them out there, and so they're always really excited to do that. The character of that meet is very, very different. It's down by the lake. Any kind of cross-country race sort of by a body of water just feels different. That humidity just sort of seeps right off the lake. And so not only was it a longer race for them at the beginning of the year, the environment is difficult. And we saw a number of runners. It ran pretty tough that day, and it was obvious across the field. Caden led us out on the boys' side again. We had a tremendous race from a young man that you're going to talk to here in a few minutes is in Truman Smucker. He was actually, I feel like I can tell this story. He'd be okay with me telling this story. He was feeling pretty sick before the race. Not nerves. He doesn't really get too nervous, but he was just feeling really ill and was kind of over in the in the woods, sort of letting go of his breakfast a little bit. And I said, Truman, you don't need to run, man. You don't need to run. And he said, I feel like I can. I feel really good. I feel like I got it behind me now. And so he went out there on that and came in second for us on the team and just made a tough, gritty run when a lot of runners weren't running what they were capable of. And he was really exceeding potential there. So he had a great run for us. On the girls' side, again, we've got a couple seniors that are leading out a bunch of freshmen, and our new freshman girls, each race that they go, they get a little bit better. Our top freshman girl was Emily Salazar, and she put in was our number 2 runner that race. But we've got a girls team there that as each week, as they get a little bit more experience, they get a little bit better because, like I said, they're pretty young. And so we're kind of excited to see where they go from here.
Sweet, sweet. Well, let's bring on your guest, and then we'll come back to talk to you to close things up.
Okay.
All right. Now we're being joined by Truman Smucker. And Truman, if you could, give us your background, your superlatives, what grade you're in, how long you've been doing this.
So I'm a junior at Sherman, and I've been doing this since, 7th grade, but I didn't ever take it real serious till about freshman year. But
nice.
my whole family, all my older siblings, they ran in the cross country program with Coach Shearer. So it was a bit of it was natural to just, follow the older siblings.
A little family tradition going on there. Sweet. And Coach, talk about Truman and, what he's developed into.
Yeah, Truman probably looks different than most kids that are on a cross-country start line. I think other teams are probably looking across the line thinking, why did we bring the linebacker to run?
That's what I was thinking. Why'd you bring the football player?
But, cross-country is one of those sports where that strength is he can really harness that and use that to his advantage. You can tell that when we get on hill courses or some of those ones that are a little bit tougher, he's got the legs to do what some of those ones that can speed around a track, they just can't do it. And so between that and he is a competitor. He is a competitor all the way. He just doesn't like to lose. And so you put those two things together, and he's pretty doggone tough to beat on a course. So he continues to improve. He's like you said, he's got some good examples that have kind of come before him, and he sort of latched onto that example. And it also spurs him on to be a little bit more competitive day by day. And so he's kind of hunting down his brother's personal records this year and trying to catch them. So that keeps him motivated as well.
For sure.
I love that. Yeah. And Truman, I was going to ask you that, what your goals are. And it sounds like it's some family records you want to break. Explain those.
So, well, I'll actually mention this because it's something they told me my freshman year is my brother. He was taking it real easy till I showed up. And then he really he locked in. He started running. I think he PR'd by a good minute or so his junior year when I was a freshman. So it's just, I kind of push him to get better. So I'm looking at him now and like, oh, I'm going to follow what he did. Like, I'm going to push myself to get where he was.
I love it. And talk about the last meet where you emptied your breakfast before you took off to run. Were you lighter after that? Is that the reason?
I did feel it felt like a great weight off my chest a little bit. It was great.
I love that.
It was my stomach was hurting real bad before, but like Coach said, after I just let it out and I felt pretty good after. So
sweet. And so what does your season look like? When you're talking to your coach, how much of your training is internal and how much of it is coach has laid out this framework for you?
So a lot of it, for sure, during the week, it's just following what coach has.
Yeah.
Taking it easy when we're supposed to take it easy and pushing when we're supposed to push. But then, like, over the weekends, I'll go train on my own. I'll get some long runs in. Just
Sweet.
doing
were those the right answers, Coach?
It sounds pretty good to me. It sounds like he knows the plan.
I love it. Well, and what's up next for you? What meet?
We have the meet in Myers Park. It's a
McKinney Boyd Invitational is this Saturday. It's a course that they know pretty well, and yes. Truman's run several times before. So, and it's one that's got some pretty devastating hills. So, I think he's probably looking forward to this one. Actually,
it's fun for me.
I love it. Cool. Well, Truman, I want to thank you for joining us, and best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Cool. So, Coach, you mentioned that you've got one coming up, McKinney Boyd. You say?
Yep, McKinney Boyd Invitational. It's at Myers Park down there in North McKinney. Mm-hmm. It's a course that we've run usually several times a year, and for the past, I don't know how many years, dozen of years. So it's a tough one. It's got a lot of hills, and our kids are really looking forward to it, though, because they like the challenge. So we're looking forward to that.
Nice.
That's this Saturday.
Sweet. And I noticed on the roster there's somebody with the same last name as you.
Yeah, that's my daughter.
And what grade is she in, and how's she doing?
She is a freshman, and so we're very excited to have her up here. She is kind of a split time. She's also swimming right now, so she's training between cross country and swimming. She just really likes that aerobic kind of style running, but it's fun to have her as part of the team, and she's the oldest, so I will be interested to see if the others follow in the footsteps and decide to stick with it and carry that on. But right now we're having a lot of fun, because being a coach, I don't always have as much time as I'd like to spend time with the family. So this brings my family into what I'm doing. So that's really fun.
Yeah, that's very cool. I know in any sport, anytime you get to coach your own kid, it's kind of special. And hopefully it's a case of just quality time and not being too much harder on them just because they're your kid.
No, it's been really positive. She doesn't listen to a thing I say, which is what I would expect from that. So that's why I have an assistant coach. She listens to him a little bit more.
I love it. So let's talk about the season for you. What does it look like? What are the goals for the season?
We're kind of right in the middle stretch right now. We won't have it. This past weekend was our only weekend off really until the end here. So we have meets every weekend here in September. We are trying to round into to hit our championship season at our peak. So these next couple weeks are us still ramping up a little bit. As we get towards the end of September, we start to taper down just a little bit to make sure the legs are fresh for our district meet that first week in October. We have probably one of the most competitive 5A districts for distance running cross country with teams like Lovejoy, which is a national cross country program that is well recognized, McKinney North, which certainly is elite, and so many other good teams. So our girls, we're hoping we can round these freshman girls into competitive kind of some competitive times that we can put forward a team that really challenges to be able to get through in district. Our boys have a little bit tougher of a sled to push, but we're kind of trying to key off Caden, our front runner there, try to push that whole group. They are definitely competitive within themselves. So the goal for both of these teams always is to compete well at district and advance to the next round. And so that doesn't change year in and year out. As we expect to be a playoff type team. Mm-hmm. And so we continue in that progression, getting ready for that as we continue throughout our season.
Sweet. And how does playoffs work in cross country? And, because in football, the top four go. What is the ruling there for cross country?
So in the district meet, they take the top three teams, which in our district is a pretty narrow crop. You're usually going to have one or two teams that are very, very good that could compete in other districts and go through fine that won't make it. But we're used to that, and we know that, and we're prepared for that. So, and then from there, they would go to the regional meet. And the regional meet, there are the four regions in Texas, so they'll take the top four teams out of the regional meet to the state. You can also qualify as an individual from the district meet. If you're in the top 10 and not part of one of those teams that advance, then you can also move on as an individual as well.
Sweet. Well, Coach Shearer, I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me. Best of luck this season, and I'll be following you all year.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
This is just one of the many amazing things that the Booster Club accomplishes throughout the year for all sports. If you're interested in joining the Sherman Athletic Booster Club, or if you want to purchase some merchandise to show your Sherman Bearcat love, you can visit the website at shermanisd.net under the Athletics tab.
Hey Coach, Lone Star Gridiron has been the leader in Coach's Show podcasts for 20 years, and now you can get your own Coach's Show podcast each week during the season as a fundraiser for your booster club. Yes, booster clubs all over are using these podcasts to help their sports programs. You get to share the stories of your program and your kids to a huge audience and make money. We started with just football, but this year have expanded to make them available for all sports. Call 713-269-4620 to find out the details and get your Coach's Show started.